Did you know that some of the smartest people you know might be living lives that feel completely stuck? While everyone around them sees success and intelligence, they feel trapped in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, or dreams they never pursue. It sounds backwards, right? How can someone who has all the mental tools to succeed end up feeling more stuck than people with fewer advantages? Today, we're going to explore the hidden reasons why intelligence can sometimes become a prison instead of a superpower. By the end of this video, you'll understand the specific traps that smart people fall into, and more importantly, how to escape them. Let me start with a story about Sarah. Sarah graduated top of her class from an elite university with a degree in engineering. She landed a high-paying job at a prestigious tech company right out of college. From the outside, Sarah had everything figured out. But 3 years later, Sarah felt completely miserable. She hated her job, but couldn't bring herself to quit. She had ideas for starting her own business, but never took any action. She stayed in the same routine day after day, feeling increasingly frustrated with herself. Sarah's story isn't unique. In fact, it's incredibly common among highly intelligent people. So what's going on here? The first trap that keeps smart people stuck is something I call analysis paralysis. Smart people are naturally good at thinking through problems. They can see all the angles, consider multiple outcomes, and spot potential issues before they happen. This is usually a strength, but it becomes a weakness when every decision feels like it needs perfect analysis. Let's say Sarah wants to start her own business. A less analytical person might just start with a simple idea and figure it out as they go. But Sarah's brain immediately starts calculating all the risks. What if the market isn't ready? What if she doesn't have enough experience? What if she fails and can't get another good job? What if her idea isn't as good as she thinks? She starts researching everything: market trends, business models, competitor analysis, financial projections. Months pass and she's still researching. She tells herself she's being smart and thorough, but really she's using analysis as a way to avoid taking action. The more she analyzes, the more problems and risks she discovers. And the more problems she finds, the scarier it becomes to actually start. This is the analysis paralysis trap. Smart people often mistake overthinking for progress. But thinking about doing something is not the same as actually doing it. The second trap is perfectionism. Intelligence often gets rewarded in school settings where there are clear right and wrong answers. Smart people get used to being the ones with the correct answers. They become addicted to being right and looking competent. In the real world, this creates a problem. Most meaningful pursuits don't have clear right answers. Starting a business, changing careers, moving to a new city, ending a relationship, pursuing a creative project, these decisions involve uncertainty and the possibility of making mistakes. For someone who's used to having the right answer, this uncertainty feels terrifying. So they wait. They wait for more information, for a clearer path, for a guarantee that they won't fail. But that guarantee never comes. Meanwhile, less intelligent people who are comfortable with uncertainty take action and make progress. They make mistakes, learn from them, and adjust course. While the smart person is still waiting for the perfect moment, others are already living the life they want. The third trap is something called the sunk cost fallacy, but with a twist. Smart people often invest years developing expertise in a particular area. Maybe they spent 4 years getting an engineering degree, then 3 years in graduate school, then 5 years building experience at their current job. That's 12 years of investment in one path. Even if they're miserable, the thought of starting over feels impossible. They think about all that time and effort they'd be wasting if they changed direction. So they stay stuck in a path that no longer serves them. But here's what they miss. Those 12 years weren't wasted even if they changed direction. The skills, knowledge, and experience they gained are still valuable. They just might be valuable in a different context than they originally planned. The fourth trap is social expectations and identity. Smart people often become defined by their intelligence from a young age. They're the smart kid in the family. Their identity becomes wrapped up in academic or professional achievement. This creates enormous pressure to make choices that look smart to others. They choose the prestigious job over the filling one. They stay in graduate school because leaving feels like admitting failure. They pursue careers that impress others rather than careers that actually interest them. Breaking free from these expectations feels like losing part of their identity. What would people think if the smart one became a teacher instead of a lawyer? What would happen to their self-worth if they took a risk that didn't pay off? This fear of disappointing others or losing their smart person status keeps them trapped in choices that look good on paper but feel terrible in real life. The fifth trap is what I call the knowledge curse. Smart people often believe that having more information will solve their problems. Feeling stuck in their career? They read more books about career development. Struggling with relationships? They research psychology and communication techniques. Want to start a business? They consume endless content about entrepreneurship. Don't get me wrong, learning is valuable. But for smart people, learning can become a form of procrastination. They convince themselves that they need to know more before they can take action. They're always one more book, one more course, one more piece of information away from being ready. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. Reading about swimming doesn't make you a swimmer. You have to actually get in the water. The sixth trap is overthinking social situations and relationships. Smart people often approach relationships like puzzles to be solved. They analyze every conversation, looking for hidden meanings. They overthink text messages and social interactions. They create elaborate theories about what other people are thinking or feeling. This mental approach to relationships often backfires. While they're busy analyzing, they miss out on genuine connection. They become so focused on saying the right thing that they don't say anything authentic. They avoid social situations because they're exhausting to navigate when you're constantly analyzing everything. This can lead to isolation and missed opportunities for meaningful relationships. Now let's talk about how to escape these traps. The first step is recognizing that being smart doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. In fact, true intelligence includes knowing when you don't know something. It includes being comfortable with uncertainty and experimentation. Start treating your life like a series of experiments rather than a series of problems to be perfectly solved. Instead of trying to analyze your way to the perfect career, try different things. Take on a side project, volunteer in an area that interests you. Have conversations with people in fields you're curious about. Gather real-world experience, not just theoretical knowledge. The second step is setting artificial deadlines for decisions. Smart people can analyze forever if you let them, so don't let them. If you're considering a career change, give yourself 1 month to research and then make a decision. If you're thinking about starting a business, spend 2 weeks planning and then take one concrete action. The goal isn't to make perfect decisions. The goal is to make good enough decisions and then improve them through experience. The third step is redefining failure. For smart people, failure often feels like proof that they're not as intelligent as they thought. But failure is just feedback. It's information about what works and what doesn't. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who fail quickly, learn from it, and adjust course. Start viewing failures as valuable data rather than personal shortcomings. The fourth step is focusing on progress over perfection. Instead of waiting until you can do something perfectly, start doing it badly. Want to start a blog? Write one imperfect post instead of planning the perfect content strategy. Want to learn a new skill? Practice for 15 minutes a day instead of designing the optimal learning plan. Action, even imperfect action, teaches you things that thinking never can. The fifth step is finding people who will push you to take action. Smart people often surround themselves with other smart people who also like to analyze everything. You need friends or mentors who will call you out when you're overthinking. People who will ask, "What have you actually done about this?" instead of engaging in endless theoretical discussions. The sixth step is starting small. One reason smart people get stuck is that they think in big, complex terms. They want to start the perfect business or make the perfect career change. But big changes are made up of small actions. Instead of trying to design your entire new life, just take one small step towards something that interests you. Send one email, have one conversation, sign up for one class. Small actions create momentum, and momentum creates more action. Let me give you a concrete example of how this works. Remember Sarah from earlier?
Here's what happened when she finally decided to escape the stuck cycle. Instead of trying to plan the perfect business, she decided to test one simple idea. She had always been good at explaining complex technical concepts in simple terms. So she started writing one blog post per week about technology topics for non-technical people. She gave herself a deadline: publish every Wednesday for 3 months, no matter what. The first few posts were pretty bad, but she published them anyway. After 2 months, a few people started commenting and sharing her posts. After 4 months, someone reached out for freelance writing work. After 6 months, she had enough freelance clients to quit her day job. A year later, she had built a successful consulting business helping companies communicate about technology.
None of this would have happened if she had tried to plan the perfect business from her desk job. It only happened because she took small, imperfect actions and learned from the results. The key insight here is that intelligence is most powerful when it's combined with action. Your ability to think, analyze, and learn becomes a superpower when you use it to improve things you're actually doing. But if you only use it to think about things you might do someday, it becomes a trap. If you recognize yourself in any of these patterns, you're not alone. Being smart comes with its own unique set of challenges that people don't often talk about. The good news is that once you understand these traps, you can start to escape them. Your intelligence isn't the problem. The problem is using your intelligence in ways that keep you stuck instead of ways that move you forward. What's one small action you could take this week towards something you've been overthinking? Leave a comment and let me know. And if this video helped you understand why smart people sometimes struggle more than they should, hit the like button. It helps other people who might be feeling stuck find this information. Remember, the goal isn't to stop being smart. The goal is to be smart about how you use your intelligence. Subscribe if you want more videos about turning your strengths into actual results instead of just endless analysis. I'll see you in the next one.